Hello, I'm Kate Racheter, food designer for Theatre Bacchus, here with Bacchus Bites, where I'm going to show you a fabulous recipe to pair with our newest show. This particular show we're doing is Sherlock Holmes, the Hound of Baskervilles. I have a fabulous recipe that I know you're going to love. Let's get into the kitchen. Sherlock Holmes was famous for the art of deduction, so today's recipe is going to show you the art of reduction. We're going to be doing a savory strawberry rhubarb balsamic reduction that is fantastic, poured over top of things like ice cream and brie cheese. You're going to love it. This recipe is super simple. You only need a couple of ingredients. First, you're going to need a cup of rhubarb, which you can chop yourself from fresh, or you can use frozen if that's what you have available. You're also going to need a cup of strawberries. Again, frozen or fresh will work for this recipe. You're going to need 2 cups of balsamic vinegar and an optional shallot. The shallot works really well if you're making the savory version, which goes fabulous on top of brie cheese. If you prefer the sweet version, just keep the shallot out and do the rest of the recipe. First thing we're going to do is break down our shallot. So the first thing I'm going to do is just cut it in half. I'm not even going to bother peeling it because it's often easier to take the skins off once you cut it in half. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to very carefully take my knife, and you see the root of the shallot. I'm just going to take my knife and I'm going to gently make very fine cuts almost all the way to the root, but I'm not going to go all the way to the root. And then I'm going to do the same thing to this one, because then what happens is all I have to do now is take my knife and then I have a nicely diced shallot. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to bring a small to medium sized soup pot up to a medium heat. We're going to take a little bit of canola oil or any neutral oil you have available, and we're just going to add a touch into the bottom here. Again, you can skip this step if you're doing the sweet version. And what we're going to do is once our oil is good and warm, we're going to add our shallots in. You're just going to stir these around maybe for about a minute or two till they become translucent. Shouldn't take too long at all. And again, if you're skipping this step to do just the sweet version, what you would do is still put the oil in the pan, and then what you're going to do is add in the chopped rhubarb and your strawberries. It's okay to put them in whole because they're actually going to cook down. And we're going to cook these for about a minute or two, just until they soften. Very important for this next step. When you're doing a reduction, it's all about low and slow. So now you're going to turn your temperature down to low, probably just above minimum, and you're going to pour your 2 cups of balsamic vinegar in. You don't want it too hot when you pour it in because there's a chance it might burn. Then bring the temperature back up just until it starts to simmer. And once it's at a simmer, what you're going to do is you're just going to kind of baby it, stirring it occasionally over the next 20 minutes. Keep a good eye on it. Very important, because again, it will burn on you easily. Reducing this recipe down is going to take about 20 minutes, but it could take longer. You'll know that the recipe is almost finished when the liquid actually starts to coat the back of your spoon. Once you're getting close to the end, you're going to add in just a pinch of salt. This salt is actually going to enhance everything. Salt is a flavor enhancer. You don't want to add too much, and you don't want to add it too early, because as it reduces, that saltiness is going to get more intense. And if you are more on the sweet side, you could add a pinch of sugar, but be careful because, again, too much sugar, there's a chance it's going to burn. Once the mixture has thickened, again, roughly about 20 minutes, we're going to take a fine mesh sieve here, Again, if you don't have something like this, you can use a regular colander with some cheesecloth lining it. And we're actually going to pour this through to strain it. And you're just going to lift this up and just gently with the spoon press the mixture through. And this is going to give you a nice smooth consistency to the final product. What's left in your strainer you can actually throw out, or if you want you could chill it and actually serve it with some cheese and some crackers. It kind of makes a fun savory jam for later. Take your recently strained mixture and pour it into an airtight container to allow it to cool, and then you're going to plop it in the fridge for about an hour to allow it to thicken. Once it's cooled, you should have this fantastic reduction that is fantastic again for pouring over top of your ice cream if you did the sweet version, or on top of some brie cheese if you did the savory version. And that's it for today from Bacchus Bites. If you want to check out some of our other recipes from previous shows, be sure to go to our website, theatrebacchus.com, as well as you can get tickets there for the upcoming show, Sherlock Holmes, Hound of Baskervilles. Thanks so much and have a great day.